questions for players Halil, Kanacevic, Langston, Galloway, and Ronald Roberts Jr., and then we'll dismiss the players and come back to questions for Coach Martelli. If you have a question, please remember to raise your hand, take a microphone, we have two floating around, and speak directly in the microphone and address players by name when you ask the question. Phil?
First of all, tremendous respect for Mark Schmidt and what Bonaventure did and how they came out. You would think that they would be the ones with the tired legs, and they put us on our heels. Our ball skills came in question in the first half, and these three guys just kept talking to their teammates about staying with it. It really wasn't coaching, it was more them being great teammates and trusting each other, and we just wore them down. They missed shots at the rim, and I think, obviously these numbers by Halil are extraordinary, and Langston yesterday, but the effort that DeAndre Bembry just gave, a really poor offensive game with 5 turnovers in the first half, but his defense on Matthew Wright was at a very, very high level. So I'm happy for these guys. I just told them that we'll go back, we'll rest, and tomorrow we're coming over here for rings and nets. That's what we want to get tomorrow, rings and nets.
All right, questions for the players?
Halil, would you say that was one of the biggest or best performances of your career?
Numbers-wise, yeah. I would say numbers-wise. I really never base my game on numbers. It's my floor game for the team. I don't care about points. I definitely got a rebound, but that's the only really thing I care about, rebounding. And it's not so many how many rebounds I get, it's how many offensive rebounds the other team gets. That's my main concern. But it's my floor game for the team. Scoring, don't really care about it. I just want to win. And I think these guys feel the same way. But yeah, I had a good scoring game and rebounding game today, numbers-wise. So yeah, that's that way, yeah. But whatever, I really don't care about it.
Langston, you had a tough first half, but you had 16 in the second half. What were you doing differently? And also, how big was it, Halil's first half performance, when he had 16 and 10 and was kind of keeping you in that game?
The second half, coach was just saying be aggressive and just keep playing. I had 2 fouls in the first half, so I had to sit down. But I just wanted to come out and be aggressive. And then, these guys, Halil and Ron were bonding me, and I was getting open looks. And then we just got going from there. And this is all credit to this team. We played a great game tonight.
Well, with the rest of the team struggling in the first half, you were kind of all over the whole game, but especially in the first half. Was the mentality that you needed to take over to keep the team in it, or?
No, how they were playing us, but they were obviously after yesterday's performance, how they played the whole season. They were hard on Langston, hard hedging on the screens, just all over him. So I was getting good looks. He was getting me good looks, and coaches got confidence in me and taking them. The team got confidence. I got confidence in myself. So they were good shots I was getting, and yeah, we were all chaotic in the first half. Just turnovers all over the board for myself, everybody, but. Yeah, everybody did a good job getting me some good shots, and we got a better rhythm in the second half where he started scoring, Ron started scoring, but first half I got good looks.
Ron, you had a couple of big blocks, especially off the ball, weak side. Just tell me how big that was, and also the fact that they missed a lot of shots inside. You guys altered a lot of shots.
Yeah, I just try to help my team in any way. If they're always coming to the lane, I just want to protect the basket. And just try to do a little thing to keep our team in.
For any of you guys, how do you like to go after 2 games in a row of logging heavy minutes, and how do you think it's going to affect you guys tomorrow?
Robert, let's show that.
Oh, well, we're playing the championship tomorrow, so we got to just forget about that. We're still going to play hard, full of energy. We really want to win the championship. Since we've been here, we've never been this close, so we got to seize the moment tomorrow.
Langston?
Ron said it good. We just got to go out there, seize the moment, play hard, leave it all out there, because it's no tomorrow. So, it's a championship game, and we're going to come with a lot of energy.
You know how they
For Ronald and Halil, in Philadelphia, I would assume that Villanova got a lot of PR this year because they had such a good year, and then you guys get to the Atlantic 10 tournament as the 4th seed, and yet you're considered a bubble team. Are you guys tired of being overlooked?
We don't care about any of that stuff. It's been about us the whole year. Do you think we're underrated?
I don't rate you guys.
See, and we don't care. No offense to I mean, by no offense, but we don't listen to that stuff. We just keep our heads straight. Coaches do a great job of just keeping us in that tunnel vision. We don't care. We just care about winning basketball games. If you rank us number 1 or 100, I don't think anybody in the locker room cares. We just keep trying to win games each and every game.
Yeah, like Halil said, we don't listen to the outside stuff. We just listen to each other, listen to our coaches, and so we just try to go out there, play hard, control what we can control, and that's it.
Ron, you mentioned it before, preparing for the championship game tomorrow. How do you go in tonight, looking at either playing VCU or George Washington? How do you prepare for either one of these teams?
Well, we have to wait till the game is over, obviously, and then we're going to prepare, watch film, do a walkthrough. The coaches do a great job of getting us ready, get off our feet, and then just be ready to play tomorrow.
Langston, if you can remember, you guys are starting to get some separation. You've had Halil for a layup there in the basket, and you had a pretty good emotional response to that. Can you remember what was going through your mind at that time?
It's funny that you say that because me and Halil were talking about it at the end of the venture, at the end of the game. It happened when we played at St. Bonaventure. I hit Halil with the same pass, and he dunked on Endo. But this time I knew it was coming. I was just waiting for him because he kept slipping all night, and I finally got an open look to try to hit him with a quick pass, and then he got another finish with a dunk.
All right, anybody else for the players? All right, thanks guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hold on, it's order.
All right, questions for Coach Martelli?
Hey, Coach. 14 assists on 21 made baskets. What does that say about the unselfishness of your team?
Well, the coach in me is going to say it's really a nice job by them, but then there's 14 turnovers that we have to clean up. We had 10 in the first half. We'll clean those up. Obviously, against these two teams, tomorrow, VCU with their pressure, and then George Washington with their 1-3-1. Can't turn the ball over that much, but that's what we've done. We basically have 5 guys average double figures. We do it by 6 game totals, and I always give them number of baskets on assist, and our total for the last 6 games was something like 67%, so that's basically what we did here today.
Coach, congratulations on the victory. Could you talk a little bit about, again, the 2 potential opponents you could face tomorrow? More specifically, what problems each team might present for your team, and how you guys are going to go about trying to overcome those challenges?
Well, the first thing is that they're both really good teams. We were fortunate enough to beat VCU at the end at home. We had some separation in that game, and they just kept coming, as is their kind of MO. And with George Washington, we got down 14, I think, in the first half, went on a 16-0 run to take a 2-point lead. We maintained that lead in the second half, but we had a lot of foul trouble, particularly with Halil. And they have a wonderful, wonderful player. I think underrated, maybe even a pro prospect in Garino. And they're both going to be coming in on an uptick. They both played really well last night. I only saw snips, little snippets of their games last night, but they both played really well, and I would expect that this will be a high-energy game. And they tell me, people from the league tell me that George Washington has a really sizable turnout with them, and the VCU crowds are legendary. So I'll know more at 6:30, and we'll meet the team at 8:30 tonight. Just do film tomorrow. We'll walk through at 8 a.m. And I think we have to make it about us, not necessarily about whom we are playing.
Phil, Halil has such a unique skill set. when you
personality and vocabulary.
All those other things, yeah. But because of the way he plays and the way you guys play with him, and he has the ball so much, How difficult was the decision for you when you first came to the program to put that kind of trust in a kid like that?
Well, I think the biggest thing was to get him on the floor. You know, like Ron Roberts, obviously everybody knows, is a highlight reel dunker, and we had C.J. Aiken, who was leading the country at a point in block shots, and now we're looking at Halil. And Halil's the best low post passer, but he's also the best low post distributor. So we had to figure out a way to get him to the post and not, but he's been asked to sacrifice. And he'll tell you that he's been asked to sacrifice. And if he could play in the low post, he would be convinced that these would be the numbers that he would post every single night. I'm fascinated by him as a person. I said yesterday in this press conference, on a team full of great teammates, he's the best teammate. And he was the one, like that when that was ugly for about 14 or 15 minutes. He kept saying in the timeouts, listen, it's all right. We were just down 9, we're down 1. It's tied, we're up to, whatever it had, I didn't have to say it, he said it to them. And because he says so much, they all listen to him.
Hey, Paul, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Coach, you've talked about Langston in the past, beating opponents softly. Is that changing as he turned the corner on that?
Well, Langston, all three of these guys are seniors. And really, they want to keep going. And when we came here, we didn't know if we would keep going. You know, like we didn't know if we could keep playing. And Langston has a fire that you almost have to quell at times because he always wants to be in the gym and he always wants to get shots and he has to listen to what we're telling him about, you know, get off your feet, rest, and just keep driving at this thing because that's the attention that he deserved. And he just had 16 points in a semifinal game in the second half. And we're going to lean on him tomorrow against either one of these opponents. I mean, it was a little hairy there, a little bit, you know, and he hit the three, like on your side of the court, the press table side. It's a monster three. That ended the game, really. I think we were holding 9, and he hit a 3 and put us up 12. That's what we need from him. Your best players have to play their best in order for you to advance.
Hey, Coach, could you talk a little bit more about your defense against Matthew Wright? I don't think he even got an open look today.
Bembry was unbelievable. At the offensive end of the floor, DeAndre was a freshman in a big game setting. At the defensive end of the floor, he was a 10-year vet. And we kept talking to him in the timeouts. That offensively it'll come, stay relaxed, quit turning the ball over. And, but defensively, he maxed out his effort. He's exhausted, and he should be, because that was a really good player that he guarded.
Phil, they asked Halil this. How about yourself? Would you consider this his best all-around game as a Hawk?
I don't know. I don't rank him. I really don't. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think the game he had and the game that saved the season was the second half against Drexel. We were down a couple at half. I think he had 27 against Drexel. And he knew it. He knew that day that we really need him because we weren't hitting on all cylinders. And but seriously, I just asked him walking over, did you have 20 rebounds? Because I didn't know how many he had. And but I think from the whole scoring the ball, rebounding the ball, and leading his team, it was right up there as a great performance.
Phil, 2014 did a few things, but they didn't win an A-10 title. What was the meaning of playing for a championship for these guys and for your program?
Well, for these guys, it's justification for how much they believed in each other, and the fact that you know what it was like. Okay, we go back to that Sunday after we lose to Villanova by about 111, I think the final was. And it's justification. They stayed with it. They trusted each other. And what Ron said is what they did. They went internal. They only listened to each other. And I'm delighted for them that they're going to have a chance now to put their name on a line that really only one team has done, only one of my teams has done. So I think it's not just the seniors, though. I've been saying it all year. This team has extraordinary character, and their character is being rewarded by the way that they're playing.
Coach, congrats again. One thing that this same Bonaventure team did yesterday, and what they love to do, they love to get out in transition, be able to kick it out. They've got the perimeter shooters. And today they only hit 2 triples. Was there a main key to the transition D, to the perimeter D, that you could talk a little bit about?
I'll be honest with you. 3 games in 3 days. We played great defense. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from my team, but they played 3 games in 3 days. And ironically, I spoke to my team last night. I've been asked questions all year about depth, but then I looked at their minutes, and their guys played heavy minutes. But when you're being run off your plays, you know, that ball's heavy. That ball's heavy. And like I said, we were able to take advantage of the fact that they were playing with tired legs.
Right, last 2 questions.
Coach, along those same lines, I know you've kept a tight rotation all year, but now that you're playing 3 games in 3 days, how much of a challenge is that going to be, especially if you go up against VCU?
You're playing for a championship. You know what I was thinking about coming over here? We came, I don't know the streets up here, but we came past the park, and I was thinking to myself, those kids in the park are playing for one reason. They want to stay on the court. So if they have to stay on the court until 6 tonight, and that was at 11:30 this morning, they would do whatever was necessary, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And if that means throwing guys in, you know, to save minutes, buy minutes. But seriously, if you look at these media timeouts, I got engaged in less time than the media timeouts. It's too long. I don't have anything less to tell them. I don't know that much about basketball. And there's 2.5 minutes. What am I going to tell them? I know we got to sell, you know, advertisement and all that other stuff, but we'll use the timeouts. Play for a championship.
All right, anyone else?
Thank you. See you tomorrow.